Hey everybody, I'm Invisiblekatana, and I'm doing this video because yesterday, as most likely you know if you're checking this out, Uncharted 4 received another huge update. We've started Season 2 of ranked matches. They revamped ranked matches, which I prefer because they've actually taken the points down from, it's from 200 to 100, plus they have individual grading for everybody who plays, so even if you lose a match, you don't have to suffer if you actually did well. So I actually really love that they've implemented that. I might actually get to master rank this time instead of being stuck at diamond. I was so close to getting that freaking hat, but they've added the rank bandanas, which I'm excited to get. They've added they added like the kiss of death or whatever they do like the rank kiss of death. I actually want that. The rank dab thing, I was like, I think that's a stupid thing, so I didn't care. But the rank kiss of death, I gotta make sure I'm still in gold or higher when the season ends, because I love that. It looks so silly, and like the 2D animation looks really great. But the main point of this video is to talk about the fact that they have some stuff coming out. It's called the Bounty Hunter DLC. And in the new video that they have on Uncharted TV, where they kind of show off the New Devon map, at the end of that they have like a couple of flashes and stuff, and it's like, you get to see a little bit of this level, and it's like, boom, DLC in September is going to be whatever the Bounty Hunter DLC is, which I'm assuming is going to be co-op, but they said that's not going to happen until like mid-October, because they had a live stream before they actually released the update. But the level that they have those flashes for is 100% the village level from Uncharted 2. Now, unless this thing looks exactly like the level from Uncharted 2, and it's not that, then this video is a total waste. They've actually put something in the game that I've heard that they said they weren't going to do, because I heard that they said they would not be doing older levels from the other games. They would just be doing this because they basically built this system from the ground up, is what I heard. It's a brand new system. It's not like kind of how they did 2 and 3, where they made the multiplayer in 2 and basically copy and pasted all of that code into Uncharted 3 and just added new elements to it. They rebuilt everything from the ground up, and that's why they can't change certain elements, because they've basically started all over again with this version of multiplayer. But that level was definitely the village. Those flashes, it's impossible not to remember that level. If you played Uncharted 2, I think of all the levels, the village and Sanctuary were my top 2 levels. Sanctuary was my #1 level. I loved that level, and that, of all the levels out of all the games, I feel like that would be the easiest one to translate, because the whole thing is basically a 3-level map. You have 2 towers on on the edges that you can get into. You have the center part of the level, and then you even have the little underground area. They could easily throw a couple of rope swings in there, and boom, you have the Sanctuary level. So I hope that they include some older levels. That would be phenomenal. I think those 2 levels would be really, really good. I think maybe like the high-rise level from Uncharted 3 would work, just for the fact that it's a building. It's like 2 tall buildings, so it just kind of makes a lot of sense to have that in there and do some rope swing stuff. But it kind of gives me hope. When I saw those flashes, I was like, that's definitely Uncharted 2. That's not even Uncharted 3. Like, they didn't go back to the last game. They went back 2 games, and that just makes me really happy. Like, they're looking at, I would assume some favorited maps. I'm not 100% sure where, Village kind of ranked as far as Uncharted 2 levels. But I know it was one of my favorites. A very simple level, too. It's basically a flat level outside of I think you can go inside of like 2, maybe 3 of the different buildings, and that's really it. But it's still a fun level. It's a nice wide level, and there's just enough in between the 2 ends where it's like, all right, I can hide here, I can go up here, little places, but there's just enough to actually make it a really good level. So the fact that I saw that in there had me really excited, and that's why I wanted to do this video and kind of ask you guys if you think we're actually going to get some other levels. I would assume we are, because why bother teasing us and just having 1 level from the second game and then not doing anything else from the older games? So I have to assume we're going to be getting at least the option, to get some more levels. I really hope, because I bought the season pass like a lot of people did. I like to think that this stuff is going to be included. I mean, they say all the DLC is going to be free, so I'm assuming that it won't matter that I have the season pass. Maybe I'll get like I guess I'll unlock a booster for free. I don't know. I'm one of the people that's a little upset with everything just being free, and it's like, oh, you get it a little early, which is like, well, I mean, I paid for like exclusive stuff, not just early stuff. Um, but we'll see how all that plays out once it comes out. But it had me very excited when I saw that, and I was like, I just had to talk about it because I love that level. I want to see Sanctuary. I want to see Chateau because that was my favorite level from the third game was Chateau, and I like the high rise level. I mean, that's fine. I just think that will work because they've added the grapple hook stuff. I thought it was a fun level to jump around because I like jumping from such a high, distance because you can no fall damage in the game, at least for multiplayer. And I think that would just simply work. But like a lot of people, I would love if they did the London Underground level and the I forgot what it's actually called, but like the level with the plane where it actually switches from the airplane to the other section of the map. I would love it if they brought that stuff back, and they could kind of do it in this. They don't really have any of those sort of moments where you're really traveling and stuff. I won't do any spoilers for people who still haven't played single player, but you're playing multiplayer. But I would love it if they kind of brought some stuff like that back, where we start in one area of the map, and then it's just really crazy and stuff, and then it transfers to the stationary section of the map. I think that would be really fun. I would love it if they did that. And if not, if they brought it back and just gave us the London Underground level, that would work too. And that also could easily have grappling hooks because it basically has it already. You just swing on pipes instead of, the rope swing. It kind of works perfectly. So they could easily do that and just add, rope swings in the middle, rope swings on the far end, like the wide section of the map where the trains come in at. So it could easily work. I hope that we get to see, even if it's on like 2 or 3 of the maps, I hope we get to see like the top maps that everybody wants to get back. Like I said, for me personally, I like the Village, but Sanctuary and Chateau are like my 1 and 2. London Underground is a really good map. I think that's a really fun one. It's, you can get choked up at certain points just because everyone's on one side of the map, but it's also very big and you can easily get away, and depending on how they do it, I think they have the Gatling gun in normal multiplayer mode, and they kind of that's something they took out in this multiplayer where they're like weapons, obviously even special weapons, the shotgun is a normal weapon now, but they don't have stationary weapons like the Gatling guns and all that either. So that'd be interesting. They probably wouldn't keep that element in it because they kind of took that out of the game. Pretty much out of the game in general. I think it's only like one section in the whole game where they have that sort of Gatling gun sort of section. But I would love it if they brought some old levels back. I heard they weren't going to, which made me really upset because I was like, man, they're just some really cool levels with, especially with this being the last game. This is the perfect time to just be like, hey, here are the favorited levels from 2 and the favorite levels from 3. I would prefer it, especially if you play 3, you know why I'm saying this. I would prefer it if they just kept them looking the same, because when they did Uncharted 3, they brought back some of the older maps and they like made them look really weird and stuff. Like Sanctuary came back and it's like, sweet, I love Sanctuary, but I guess they did that for the purposes of, you paid to have it, and if you have the second game, it's a cool way to have the same level, but it looks different, but they also look weird. They basically made it look like the Aurora Borealis were just over all the levels. It was like a weird sort of green-purple sky on all the Uncharted 2 levels when they brought them to Uncharted 3, and I was like, these just look weird like this. I don't know why they did that. So I would much rather prefer the original versions of the levels, and that's what it seems like for the Village one. It's just a sunny day, and that's it. So hopefully they have that. Another level, actually, that I remember from Uncharted 2 that I really liked, I don't know the name of the level, but I guess it's basically like right before the Shambhala stuff. It's not Sanctuary, but it's still like a really snowy level. Or maybe they made it snowy in the newer version. I think that's what it was. When they brought it to Uncharted 3, it was snowing. And I think that was one of the cooler updates, but like the weird sky stuff, I didn't enjoy too much. But I wish I could remember the name of that level. But I like that one too. That had like a little underground section, and it had like the middle platform. I really wish I could remember the name of this one, but I really love that level too. So I would like to see those levels come back. Of course, like I said, I'm doing this because I really wanted to know if you guys even think we'll be getting multiple old levels from Uncharted 2 and 3. Maybe they'll even do some stuff from Uncharted 1, because they kind of did that in Uncharted 2 with the fort level, that was based on Uncharted 1. So maybe we'll get some stuff like that. I would personally love it. Um, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what to expect. I know we're going to be having DLC for a very long time because the co-op stuff isn't even supposed to come out until sometime next year. So they've got a lot of stuff in between, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of the classic levels come back. Hopefully, they also bring back choosing the level, which they had in Uncharted 3. I can't remember how they did 2, but Uncharted 3 at least had it where it was like, here are 2 levels, and you get to vote between the 2. I hope they bring that back, because I kind of like having the choice. I would love it if they just said, hey, here are all the levels, just choose where you guys want to go. That I think would be very cool, but for what they have right now, I'm excited. I barely got to play with the new update, so I didn't get to play on the new level just yet, and everything else is really just changes to ranked and like some minor little stuff. But I really do hope that we get some of the older levels. I was gonna say some of the newer older levels, but just some of the older levels because they're really fun maps. I would love to see them updated, not only with today's graphics, but I would love to see them updated with the rope swings and just to see how all that stuff will play out. I think that would be very entertaining to see. I would love it if they did do like the underground London level because of how it transfers from the train to the train station. I would love one of those in this Uncharted game. I think it would be very interesting to see people try to use like mystics on the train and stuff. I feel like that would be really funny, especially like catching people in midair and slowing them down, and then they're trapped in midair as the trains are still going, and they just get left behind and they die. That would actually be really awesome. And people just dropping brutes on the train. You'd have to get quite a few kills to actually be able to get the brute for the little bit of time that you're actually on the train. But that would be really cool. I would love to see that. I think it would be entertaining and also really funny because that mystics and stuff on the train, and also mystics and stuff on the plane where you're jumping from car to car to try to get to the people inside the plane, which is always kind of difficult. The people in the plane always had it easier, but I would still love to see those levels come back. I really enjoyed them when they released them in the game. I think Yemen was a good level as well. There's some level in Uncharted 3. Not the one where the dust storm comes up, but there's another level that's like Yemen or something like that. But either way, I would like to see a lot of older levels come back. I mentioned my favorites, but I would definitely love to hear your favorite levels that you guys would like to see come back. And also, I would love to know how you guys would update the levels because some of them work a little bit easier than others. Like Sanctuary, like I said, they already have like kind of the tower section. All they would have to do really is kind of add a couple rope swings because I remember just jumping in general, you can land on top of the canopy and stuff even though you kind of weren't supposed to. You can land on top of it and try to stay up there as long as you could. So they could add like minor stuff if they wanted to add like a couple of platforms or something. But that level just kind of fits right in. The high-rise level easily works because it's already just tall buildings. Just add a couple rope swings and it just works. But like I said, I would love to know what levels you guys would like to see from the older games. If you think we'll even be getting more maps than just the village. I have to assume we will, because once you put one in, it's like you aren't going to leave it at one old map, especially if it's not just from Uncharted 3, it's all the way from Uncharted 2. There's no way they're not going to put in more than just one of the older maps. So I'm looking forward to what we get. Maybe they'll put out a poll and say which ones do you guys want, and I'll be right on there saying I want Chateau and Sanctuary. Those would be like my top 2. But like I said, I want to know what you guys think about this, what levels you want to see, how you think they'd be upgraded. So please comment below, let me know, and of course, thanks for watching.